right in the kisser.
Hey, how the devil are you? Oh, why are you? Now, look what we've got today. These are the Acoustic Energy AE1 Active Speakers. In a lovely piano black, lush. I've had these now for just over a week, been testing them out. And so far, fantastic. Really enjoying them. Now, I've got them on this crappy old tea towel here, okay, because I don't want to mark them up. I've only got them on loan, okay, I've got to send them back. Got to make sure I keep them in tip-top condition. Okay, so they are piano black, so I will be putting on the old white gloves, okay, because they do show up the fingerprints. It looks beautiful, but does show up the fingerprints. So let's put on the white glove before I get you in a bit closer.
Shannon!
There you go. Right, let's bring you in for a closer look. And here they are. Very pretty, very nice. This is a piano black, as I said. They also come in piano white, and they also come in walnut, real wood veneer. But that'll set you back an extra 200 quid. But they do look flipping nice, I tell you what. Got a magnetic grille, and it's not, sometimes these magnets can be a bit too strong, but these come off very easily and go into place very easily. Now this is 80mm MDF, and it's got extra bracing with damping panels. You've got a 25mm 1-inch aluminium dome tweeter, and they've got this WDT, I think is wide dispersion technology, waveguide, and they say it's for improved coverage and room integration, and I agree with that. Now, don't get me wrong, I do sit in front of the hi-fi sometimes and sit in a chair listening to it, but a lot of the times I'm up and around. So I like to have speakers that do have a wide dispersion, that have good horizontal and vertical off axis. If you stand up and move around, you're not losing too much of the higher frequencies, and these work well, really do. Then you've got 125mm 5-inch ceramic hard anodized spun aluminium cone, and this is supposed to offer exceptional stiffness at low weight. So this negates the cone flex and the breakup nodes at frequencies typical of paper and plastic cone designs. Okay, let's have a little look around the back. Okay, on the back. Now, firstly, they're slot ported. Now, this can have an advantage because it helps distribute port noise across a wider frequency range, if they're implemented well. If they're not, they can cause more issues, a bit of port chuffing. But these don't. These are implemented well and work well. Now, you may say or think, where's all the connections? Well, the only connections you have is RCA and balanced inputs, and that's a good thing, okay? And I'll tell you why. You know, it's like, oh, where's the HDMI? Where's the coaxial? Where's the optical? My God. Right, so these only have this because they have a built-in amplifier, okay, in each speaker. So they're using a linear power supply and two 50-watt amplifiers. The back of this one's exactly the same as this one. So what they want you to do, and I agree with and I recommend, is to use a preamp to handle all the other connections, bass, treble, EQ and stuff like that. Connect it via either RCA or balanced from a preamp, whack the volume up on here and use the preamp to do all the volume duties, etc, etc. Look, you can connect a CD player directly to this, but I recommend a preamplifier. You get a much better experience with a preamp. You got bass and treble on the back. It's only plus or minus 2 dB on each one. I didn't feel the need to use these at all, but it's there if you just want to tweak it a little bit, move it back and forward, and experiment with the bass and treble. And I've already shown you the volume button there. Like I said, you can plug in a component directly to here and use the volume on here, but seriously, use a preamp, you'll appreciate it. Now, these are both powered separately because of that linear power supply. They So you plug this one in, turn that on, plug that in. And you might say, well, I've got to plug in 2 speakers instead of 1, because normally you find on powered speakers, they have 1 power supply and then an umbilical cord or length of speaker cable going to the other one to power the other one passively. I think this is a better idea because potentially you're going to get a better audio experience having them done separately. And you know, so you're still going to have that extra lead anyway, okay, going across the room. And sometimes that lead isn't long enough, so you can't get them far enough apart. So having them separately, it's even got more benefits. So there you go. Now, they did experiment with Class D and DSP, but they found the audio performance to be subpar in comparison to a linear power supply and 50-watt Class AB amplifiers. So like I said, 2 Class AB amplifiers in each, 50 watts each, okay? So you've got 100 watts per channel RMS. Now, the frequency range, okay, is 42 hertz to 28 kilohertz. 42 hertz with a 5-inch driver? Are you having a laugh? Now, you may think, oh, come on. But seriously, when I listened to these, I was surprised for the size of the speaker, how good the bass response was on it. It did really take me aback a bit. I wasn't expecting it. So I think they're probably about right with that frequency range. I had these connected to the pre-outs on my League Stereo 230, and they sounded great with that. But I predominantly had them connected to this new DAC I've got. It hasn't come out yet. It's due out on the 22nd of this month, I think. So I'll be doing a video on that shortly. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. And it's the DNA Alpha Pro. It's a headphone amp, it's a DAC and a preamp. So beautiful, I could use the volume on that. Just leave these on full, okay? And them two work really, really well. Now, I have to say, they sounded great, really good. However, they are very detailed and revealing. And what I found was, if you fed them a poor quality track, they'd let you know, okay? You feed them good quality stuff and they will appreciate it, all right? So don't feed them MP3, 128 kilobits per second, because they'll let you know, all right? But I fed them quality tracks. And when you feed them a quality track, oh, beautiful. Now I compared them to my League Stereo 230 connected to the Wharfedale Diamonds 12.2s initially, because the 12.2s are about in the same, they're a little bit bigger than these with a bigger driver, I think a 6-inch driver versus 5-inch. And that comparison, well, these were a lot better than the Wharfedale 12.2s. And I love the 12.2s, okay? Then I compared them, right, to the League Stereo 230 connected to the Wharfedale Lintons. And that was a much closer race. And it was a tough one to call, I gotta say. Maybe the Lintons just pipped it, but it was close. I think the Lintons were a bit more room filling. These were more detail oriented, but it was pretty close. Now, if you compare them in price, so these piano black and piano white, you're looking at 1,500, okay? Let's say you've got a Wii Ultra, banged a Wii Ultra, you've got a streamer, a DAC, I think it's got a phono stage as well, hasn't it? I think. Okay, you got digital inputs. So you get everything there, and that costs you 350 quid, 1,500 for them. You're looking at £1,400 all in. Now, if you was to get, say, an amplifier and passive speakers, you'd have to spend about that much to get the same amount of quality. Maybe even a bit more. You think about it, the League Stereo 230, that's coming in at 1,250 quid with the wood surround. The Lintons are about that price as well. So you're looking at 2.5 grand's worth of kit there, okay, as opposed to 1,500 quid's worth of kit. So I think you're getting a very good deal. You're getting sort of high-end audio for a lot cheaper than if you bought it separately, if you know what I mean. Now, I did do a sound test, but it's not on this video because I used copyright material. So I don't want to get this a copyright warning on this video. So I've done it on a separate video. Now I do like to think of myself that in another life I could have been a fantastic DJ, okay? Who am I kidding? So I connected them all up using amp splitters and speaker splitters and stuff like that. But I had to be there controlling them like a DJ. Oh, I had a lot of fun doing it, I have to say. So I could switch between each speaker, okay, and each amp, whatever, right? A lot of fun doing it, and I've recorded that on another video. So I'm comparing these to the Wharfedale Diamond 12.2s and the Lintons using the Leak Stereo 230. So don't forget to have a look at that. I'll put a link here and in the description box below. I've been thoroughly impressed with these active speakers. Probably the best active speaker I've ever heard thus far. So definitely gets my UTV seal of approval. Well recommended. I thought it was fantastic. That's come to the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed it. Now don't forget to go and have a look at my sound test in that link description box below, okay? And I'll catch you in the next one.